How are we, lads? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. My name is Nick from Australia, and welcome to the NRL Round 22 Tips and Predictions live stream for your Tuesday evening. It is 5:07 p.m. Apologies about the slight delay. I hope everybody is doing fantastic. Round 22, a very big round of footy, man. A very big round. A lot of important games, a lot of teams playing for their seasons, and a lot of teams trying to, get into the top 8 and the top 4, and some teams are trying to avoid the bottom 4 and the wooden spoon. So it's a big round ahead. Before we go any further, I want to acknowledge the live chat. Hope everyone's doing well. Hello to Josh. Hello to Lockie. Hello to Jaden. Hello to Luke, Melbourne Storm fan. Hello to Bowden, CJ Moxley, Liam Pritchard, and everyone else that is watching. Hope you guys are all doing fantastic. Big weekend for myself. Obviously, I'll be down there in Sydney. I'll be going to the Sharks and Cowboys game on Sunday, but I won't just be at that game. I'll be at a couple other games as well, which we'll get to very soon. It's going to be a pretty big weekend. I'll be at about 3 games this weekend, so should be a lot of fun. Hello to CJ in the chat and everyone else that is watching. All right, let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. CJ in the chat. We look like a side-eyed field in a local bush comp. Don't worry, we'll get to your game in a little bit. But it all kicks off, guys. Thursday night football from CommBank Stadium. It is the Parramatta Eels up against the Melbourne Storm. And the Storm are favourites here at $1.30. The Eels are at $3.70. Now, Parramatta obviously had a nice win last week over the Broncos. Bit of an upset win. Their team is pretty much unchanged from last week. Kalma Talangi is in the reserves. He could be a late inclusion. For the Melbourne Storm, Ryan Papenhuyzen is back. Nick Meaney goes to the centres. Jerome Hughes is out injured for about 4 or 5 weeks. So Wishart will play a halfback for Melbourne. Everything else looks pretty good. Jonah Pezzett on the bench for the Melbourne Storm. So, yeah, pretty strong side for Melbourne. My tip for this game, I think Melbourne win. I think Melbourne win well, but I think Parramatta will be competitive. I think they will. I think they'll give them a game for a while. As long as Mitchell Moses is still on the field, Parramatta will probably be in this game. So I'm going to go Melbourne by 14 points. Not going to be a big flogging, I don't reckon. Melbourne Storm to win by 14. First try scorer, I'm going to go Harry Grant. Harry Grant seems to love scoring against the Eels. He scored his last 2 against them, and I think he could score the first try in this one. So Harry Grant to score the first try. Melbourne Storm to win by 14 points on Thursday night at CommBank. All right. My apologies. Sorry, guys. All right. Next game. We move on to the Friday 6 o'clock game from Go Media Stadium in New Zealand. Obviously, 6 o'clock kickoff for us. It is the New Zealand Warriors taking on the Dolphins. The Dolphins are favourites here. They are $1.80. The Warriors are at $2. Now, couple out for the Warriors. No Fisher Harris. No Chanel Harris-Tavita. They got Martin in the 5'8" role. Dominic Vala Malgu will go to the front row. Sam Healy comes in for Wade Egan, who's out as well. There's a few out for him. Tane Tuapiki on the bench for the Warriors. It's a very small bench for the Warriors. And on to the Dolphins. Pretty strong side. They welcome back Felice Carfusi. Kurt Donaghy will play at lock once again. The GOAT, Mark Nichols, is on the bench. Harrison Graham drops to 18th man. I think that's a little bit unlucky. He's been going well for him. But yeah, look, it's in New Zealand, and the Warriors had a loss last week, and I know a lot of people will expect them to bounce back, but I think the Dolphins are going to win this. I think the Dolphins are going to win this game. It's over there in New Zealand, which does concern me. Will the Warriors lose back-to-back in New Zealand? A lot of people will probably say no to that, but the injury toll is starting to really, take shape at the Warriors, and I think the Dolphins are just looking really hot at the moment. So my tip, I'm going to go the Dolphins, guys. I'm going to go the Dolphins by 6. I think it will be a fairly high-scoring game. Dolphins by 6. First try score, I'm going to go with the back rower, Connolly Lemu. I reckon he might score the first try of the game. But yeah, I'm going the Dolphins by 6. Should be a really good game, that one, on Friday night. Moving on to the other game on Friday night football, we have the Brisbane Broncos up against the South Sydney Rabbitohs from Suncorp Stadium. 8 o'clock kickoff. Brisbane, $1.20 favourites. The Rabbitohs are at $4.80. I'm surprised they're not $480 with the Rabbitohs injury toll. Goodness me, the Rabbitohs, they have a lot of players out. As for the Broncos, they have recalled Selwyn Cobbo on the wing, which is interesting. Jesse Arthurs drops out for a week. I reckon that's because of his defence. The defence of Jesse Arthurs lately has been disappointing. So Cobbo will play on the wing. Everything else for the Broncos looks to be as per usual. For the Rabbitohs, well, Bailey, Bentley, Harper comes in for Tyrone Munro, who's been dropped to the reserves. Whiten has been named at 6 for now, but if he gets suspended, I imagine Lewis Dodd would probably come in. Humphreys returns at halfback. The injury toll at Souths is quite insane. So I'd like to see Souths, be competitive here, but I just can't see it. I think Brisbane win. I think Brisbane win well. I'm going to go the Broncos by 26 points here. I think first try scorer, I'm going to go with Shibasaki. It's been a few weeks since he scored a try, and he used to play for the Rabbitohs, so maybe he'll want to get one over him. So Broncos by 26 points. They'll flog him here, and I think Shibasaki will score the first try of the game. All right. Moving on to Super Saturday, and the first game is at 3 p.m. from Cbus Super Stadium on the Gold Coast. It is the Titans and the Panthers. The Panthers are $1.20. The Titans are at $4.30. The Gold Coast, they had a very surprising win last week over the Warriors. So can they back it up against a team coming for the top 4? I doubt it, but Jamin Jolliffe returns into the front row. Cleese Haas will start at lock. Jacob Alec will play in the back row once again. Josh Paxton is also on the bench, which is good to see. As for the Panthers, pretty strong side from last week. Looks to be nearly unchanged. I think it is unchanged. Oh, yeah, Isaiah Papali'i will go to the bench with Liam Martin starting in the back row with Luke Garner. Look, I'll keep this one short and sweet. Panthers win. Panthers win well. This won't be close. Panthers by about 3 or 4 tries. Panthers by 18. First try score, I'm going to go with Casey McLean at left centre. I think he can score the first try of the game. So, yeah, Panthers by 18. Casey McLean to score first. I don't think that game will be close. All right, moving on to the middle game of Super Saturday, and that is the 5:30 time slot, where it is the St. George Illawarra Dragons up against the Canberra Raiders. The Raiders are $1.45. The Dragons are at $2.85. Now, the last couple of times they've played each other, it's been 1-12. I think the last, 5 or 6 games between the Dragons and Raiders have been Raiders by 6 or less. It's been 1-12. So this will be interesting on Sunday. They only played about a month ago, and the Raiders got the win there by 4 points. Now, the Dragons team is pretty similar to last week. Michael Mollo will start back row for the injured Jaden Sewer. Hame Sele is on the bench for the Dragons as well. King Togia has somehow kept his spot in the side after last week. I don't know how he did, but he did. And as for the Raiders, Sebastian Chris returns from injury. Simi Sasungi goes back to the bench. The Raiders look pretty strong here. Morgan Smithies is also on the bench for the Green Machine. Look, I wouldn't be surprised if the Raiders won this by a lot. Like, it wouldn't shock me too much. But I think at Wollongong and the Dragons, they're just competitive. Like, they're not going to win a lot of games, but they somehow lose a lot of games 1-12. So I think this will be a 1-12 game. And I'm going to say that the Raiders win by 1-12. We'll go Raiders by 12 points here. Out there at Wollongong. Raiders by 12. First try score, I'm going to go with Hudson Young. Again, bit like Shibasaki earlier. It's been a while. It's been a few weeks since Hudson Young scored a try. So Raiders by 12. Hudson Young, first try scorer. All right. Moving on to Saturday night, and this is going to be a cracker. This is a big game, man. Holy shit. Saturday night, 7:35 p.m. from 4 Points Park, which is also known as Brookvale Oval. The Manly Seagulls up against the Sydney Roosters. Manly, $1.80. The Roosters are at $2. This is going to be a huge game, this one. Now, Manly, no Ola Kawatu, so Corey Waddell comes straight into the back row. Tommy Talau is on the bench for Manly as well. I'm not sure what the reasoning behind that is, but Gordon Cham-Kum-Tong drops back to the reserves. As for the Roosters, Billy Smith and Hugo Savala are back in the side for them. C.Y. Wong goes to the back row. Egan Butcher goes to lock. Radley in the reserves with Docker Clay. They could be late-ins. Look, this is going to be a great game, and I think this could even be the game of the round, man. Manly Roosters, big game. I'm going to go Manly. And not only am I going to tip Manly, I'm going to predict that this game on Saturday night between Manly and the Roosters is going to go to Golden Point. It's going to go to Golden Point. And I'm going to predict that Daly Cherry Evans kicks the field goal to win the game. Manly by 1. It's going to be a cracking game. First try scorer, I'm going to go with Lehigh Hopewate at fullback. I reckon he can score the first try. But yeah, Manly by 1 point in Golden Point. It's going to be an absolute cracker of a game. Looking forward to it. Manly by 1. All right. Moving on to Sunday. The first game is at 2 o'clock from CommBank Stadium in Sydney, out there at Parramatta. It is the West Tigers up against the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, as everyone's calling it, the Lachlan Galvin Cup. The Bulldogs are $1.30. The Tigers are at $3.70. Now, the Tigers welcome back Jareem Buller. Big inclusion there. Alex Twal goes to the front row. Safaf stays in the back row. Royce Hunt, Fanua Pole are on the bench. As for the Bulldogs, so Connor Tracy will miss about 3 weeks. So Jacob Carraz will go to fullback. Jeffro Renakama goes onto the wing. And Stephen Crichton in the centres there once again. Galvin at halfback. Everything else looks to be per usual for the Bulldogs. Look, I do give the Tigers a bit of a chance here. I think there is a world where the Tigers could win a tight one against the Dogs, but they're going to have to really be at their best. We saw what they did as massive underdogs against the Roosters only a few weeks ago. They haven't really done anything since that game, but Look, I think the Bulldogs win, and I think the Bulldogs win by, that 14 to 20 margin. So I'm going to go the Dogs by 14 here, guys. First try scorer, Jacob Preston. I reckon he'll score the first try in the back row. And yeah, Dogs by 14. I think they'll be a little bit too good for the Tigers. Now, the last game of the round. As you guys know, I will be at this game on Sunday afternoon. It is the Sharks versus the Cowboys from Shark Park. Now, a couple of things that I need to note. Jake Clifford returns. Tom Dearden plays his 100th game for the Cowboys. Marley Batoon will debut for the Cowboys off the bench. Hope he has a blinder of a game. And John Bateman will play game 300 in his rugby league career. John Bateman's 300th game. Hope he has a huge game on Sunday. And lucky last, Harrison Edwards, my man, Harrison Edwards, will play game 50 for the Cowboys, or his 50th NRL game, I should say, this weekend. So good luck to everyone involved. And I guess the other thing we're playing for is the Paul Green medal. And lucky last, the Cowboys are playing for their season. So you got all these milestones, all these incredible accomplishments, the Paul Green medal. The Cowboys season is on the line. If we can't get up for this, then I don't think we'll get up for anything again this year. This is huge. So massive game on Sunday. It's out there at Shark Park. Like I said before, I'll be there at the game. It's going to be a good one. Now, the Sharks, they are favourites, $1.40. The Cowboys are at $3. Very juicy odds for the Cowboys. Still no Tamalolo, which is really frustrating. I won't lie. Really frustrating. It's probably another week away, I think. So, sucks to see. But yeah, overall, the team's pretty much similar to last week. Bateman's 300, he's in the back row, which is good to see. Marley Batoon will debut. Kane Lars on the bench once again. You'll love to see it. Pretty, considering the injury toll that we're going through, it's still a good side. And I think we can win, and I think we will win. So I'm going to say Cowboys will win by 4. It's going to be a tight game. First try scorer, I like Scott Drinkwater in this game. I like him to score the first try. So first try, Scotty Drinkwater, Cowboys by 4. Bring it on. So let's go through the tips quickly before we get on out of here. Eels and Storm, I'm going Storm 13+. Warriors Dolphins, I'm going Dolphins 1-12. Broncos South, Broncos 13+. Titans Panthers, Panthers 13+. Dragons Raiders, Raiders 1-12. Manly Roosters, I'm going to go Manly 1-12. Tigers Dogs, Dogs 1-12. And Sharks Cowboys, Cowboys 1-12. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate you. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Let me know your tips in the comment section down below. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe. See you in the next one. Go the Cowboys.